Hello, and welcome to Sunday Night Gaming. We've got a group of people here tonight, and we're going to be playing Pasion de la Pasiones, a game of Mexican, well, sorry, I keep on saying Mexican, Latin American telenovelas. We're playing on the Gauntlet, which is a brilliant roleplay community with somewhere in the region of 200 sessions running each month. It's absolutely crazy. We do have an open gaming weekend coming up at the end of February, so if anyone's interested, have a look on gauntletrpg.net, and you can find the games there. Those are open. The open gaming is open to anyone who's interested. You don't have to be a member of the Gauntlet, and we run those every couple of months to try and spread our love of online gaming. Now, as we are playing on the Gauntlet, there are certain safety rules that safety tools that we actually use. We are using the X card tonight, and we've gone through and actually laid out some lines and veils for our game as well. The game we're playing is, as I mentioned, it's a game of Latin American telenovelas. It's very much a game of melodrama, a game of heightened emotions. But the setting we're playing is a little bit different. Rather than actually being set on Earth, we're actually doing it in space, specifically on a moon base. And the name of the game, the name of the actual TV show we're portraying, I can't say it in Spanish. I do apologize, but it translates to the dark side of love. So, with that said, I'd like to go through and have our players introduce themselves and their characters. So, going with the order I see people on the screen. Stephen, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Elena, please?
Hey there, I'm Steven, he, him, and I'm playing Capitan Elena Kosakova, the hotshot space pilot that runs supplies and people between here and Earth, and potentially goes on life-saving missions when things get dicey here on the moon. I'm the face of this program, and I make certain the rest of you know it. And I am La Belleza.
Brilliant, thank you. And Will, can you tell us about Can you introduce yourself and tell us about Sophia, please?
Hi, my name is Will. My pronouns are he, him, unlike those of my character, Sophia Costa, who is she, her. This is La Empleada. Make no excuses for my pronunciation of Spanish, having never taken a lesson in my life. And yeah, Sophia Costa is the employee. She works, unlike someone, she's got a boss's back on Earth, bosses here. She's at the whim of everybody. She is working for Agencia Comisión de Transnacional Acta Dis Especiales, or as we are going to call them from now on, Actus. And yeah, she is in over her head and is high up enough that she can be trusted to take care of things, but low enough down the pecking order that she had no choice other than to come to an artificial island in the middle of space.
Brilliant. And Greg, can you tell me about Dr. Clementes, please?
Yes, I'm Greg Gelder. I use he, him pronouns. So does my character, who's probably going to get a new title every single session. Chief Scientist, Dr. Raul Clemente, still figuring out the Brazilian suffix for lawyer. Dr. Clemente is a prodigy. He is a moon scientist from the age of 12 when he graduated from university. He is brilliant. He's also La Donna. So he is the puppet master, or at least views himself so, manipulating everything on the space station and trying desperately to enact his nefarious schemes. And despite being possibly the most striking portrait of a man I have ever seen, I took the used to be beautiful playbook move, which I'm excited to use.
Brilliant. And finally, Abe, can you say hello and introduce us to Ishmael, please?
Yes, I am Abe, pronouns he, him. My character is Commander Ismail Sevilla, who is the commander of this moon base. He is very straightforward, sort of ham and eggs sort of fellow, salt of the earth type. He, he is very even-handed with running the ship, but he has the base, but he has very little tolerance for background chicanery, would be it from corporations or competing countries and things like that. So he's sort of like the everyman trying to kind of keep things moving and try to keep the drama to a minimum.
Excellent. Well, we'll try to do all we can to dash his hopes in that regard.
I hope so. Yes.
I've been thinking about it, and I do appreciate how the title of the commission we've come up with is a mixture of Portuguese and Spanish, as if they couldn't come to an agreement about what.
I would not have noticed that. I really wouldn't have. Okay, so as part of the setup for the game, we've set up some suitors for Sophia as the Empleada. Can I just ask people to confirm who those are? That was Elena and Ismail. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Brilliant. And Greg, as LaDonna, you get a certain number of schemes that you get to have go in each session. So before we get into the session itself, would you like to go down and actually...
Yes, I picked one. I italicized it. So we'll have to play with this a little bit because I'm not exactly sure what it would be. Choose a known property. You have secretly secured legal control of this property. When you move in to take it, the law will back you.
Okay.
I'm thinking it might be like the nuclear reactor module itself.
So it could also be that like there's a new space titanium that's found just beneath the surface.
Right. Some sort of mining. I've secured the okay. We have an international group here, but when you buy a house in the United States, you also secure the mineral rights, which include all of the space below your house. So perhaps I actually own the mineral rights to this moon base. I don't own the moon base, but I own all the ground underneath it to the core of the moon.
One thing to consider as well is it doesn't need to be a physical property. You
True.
could have actually got yourself appointed the head of another department in addition to your own. So you could potentially be put in charge of the maintenance team as well. So you'd have control over the actual reactor, if that's something that you wanted to do.
Or it could be the intellectual rights to the reactor's design of your own making, which is simply being leased out to Actus.
Okay, I'm thinking on that for a second. Keep them apart, I think, is probably the most interesting. So again, remind me, Will, Sophia has chosen, who are they actively in love with?
Oh, who am I actively in love with? I don't
Both
know.
are courting you. At the beginning of play, you choose one to be your love.
Oh, okay. It is dashing Captain Kosakova.
Okay.
She's so beautiful and so brave and so good, you know?
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to keep you two apart then.
Excellent. And finally, before we go in, and I said finally beforehand, but finally, before we go into the game itself, there is something that we do at the start of each session, which is last time on.
We're not doing the backgrounds?
Oh, sorry, you're quite right. I skipped over it. I do apologize. So, yes, each person has 2 background questions. I'm sorry, I need to get myself a flow list for this. So what I'm going to go through, I'm going to ask each person to do one of their questions at a time, and then we'll loop back around. So let's start. Let's go by character keeper order. So Elena, can you choose one of those questions and choose the character that you want to fill it?
Oh, I mean, Yeah, I'll go with this just to really drive it home that Sophia has been a source of entertainment and flirtation, kept at arm's length.
Excellent. And Raul, Dr. Clementes.
Oh, if Abe is good with it, I believe that Dr. Ismail and Chief Scientist Dr. Raul Clemente have been in a feud for quite some time. They've sparred.
Yes, absolutely.
I think
100%.
there's yeah. I mean, all these characters besides Sophia, I think they're in control of the space station. So
You were passed over for the commander's seat in favor of this.
it's a spit in the face, really. It's
Yes.
disgusting.
Excellent. And in that case, then, Sophia, can you choose one of those questions?
Sorry, still getting used to responding to the character name.
It takes a while.
Yeah. I think. I think Dr. Clemente holds control over my well-being as well as someone who has influence over my employer.
Excellent.
Is Sophia also a scientist, or is Sophia more maintenance?
I think she's more like kind of admin-y, you know, like
Okay, yeah.
doing all the logistics and making sure that the reports are sent and that kind of stuff, you know.
Brilliant. And finally, Commander Ishmael.
I would think that Sophia would be the person I go to when I'm stuck in the see my soft side. That sound good?
Brilliant. So in that case, then back to Captain Elena. Your second question, please.
You're muted, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm going to thank you. I'm going to yeah. Ismail is the person I go to when you're truly ready to cut loose. Was Ismail okay with being someone's drinking buddy? Do you think that's something Ismail would do, or are they too straight?
No, you know what?
Yeah.
No, he's totally not. He's like a mensch. You know, he can go out
Okay.
and tear boys. But actually, I was going to use you as my second question. That they would mesh really nicely together. So we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
Brilliant. In which case, then, Dr. Clementes, your second question, please.
If Steven's good with it, I believe Captain Elena is a broken little bird that I need to take care of.
Is that why you're trying to keep them away from Sophia?
Probably.
You
Yeah,
believe that
Sophia's-
that I just had my heart broken in the past, and you were there for it, and you've sworn that my heart will never be broken again.
And like Captain Elena is so emotional that it would be terrible for the space station if something happened. So
Brilliant. And in that case, then, Sophia, can we have your second question, please?
I think that that Ismail was Commander Sevilla was the first person who was nice to me despite my humble beginnings.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And finally, Ishmael, can we have your last question, please?
I was thinking Captain Elena knew me when I used to get in trouble and has seen my hard side. Maybe we were like served together, you know, when before we had kind of done the come up, you know.
Before you became commander, did you and I do smuggling runs here to the moon?
I don't, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, like we served together in Nam sort of thing, you know,
Okay.
like we were both grunts in the early days. I think I'm too upright to be all
Okay.
smuggling. You know, my character's like, you know, he's a good guy. So I don't know if he would be down to smuggle.
You know how a lot of aircraft, military aircraft, have a pilot and a navigator or a weapons operator. Was that you two originally?
Yeah, that would work.
Did you have one of these things where you had to eject over somewhere and survive together on a desert island for a month until you were rescued? And that is the sort of thing. That is the sort of thing that can happen far too often in
Well, I
Pasiones
mean,
games.
Yeah.
In this,
I mean,
wouldn't it
I'm okay
be
with
wouldn't it be a space pod, an escape pod that was on a locked orbit around
Oh.
the Earth, collapsed?
Oh, it would, or literally, the pod that you came down in came down somewhere where you weren't supposed to be.
Dr. Clemente was the one who calculated their return trajectory, and no one ever acknowledges that.
And the paperwork's been lost. Why no one ever acknowledges it, and why they never found them? Was he secretly trying to get them together? We'll never know. But anyway, with that said, and all the backgrounds done, we're an hour into things at the moment. What I think I want to do now is we'll take a break until 10 past. People can go get drinks. People can go and use facilities.
All right.
And then when we come back, we'll go directly into the game, I think.